Hello and welcome back to the channel. Here we go again. Ed Steele set to be sacked as Watford head coach following the final game against Coventry City. This was briefed by the club, it appears, to various sports media outlets this morning. The Watford Observer, Sky Sports News, TalkSport and others have all reported the news that Ed Steele is set to lose his job following the final game of the season. How am I feeling hearing this? Well, clearly it was inevitable. It's no longer a shock to me when I hear the news that a Watford head coach is set to lose his job. It felt like this was coming actually for a number of weeks. The form lately, to be quite frank, hasn't been good enough. Now, we know there's a lot more to it than that. It's not totally down to Ed Steele, and it's not totally down to the players. It's to do with the culture at the club, what it's like behind the scenes, how it's like to train there on a daily basis. There's a lot more to it than just the football that's played on the pitch. But actually, if we just take all of that out of the equation for a moment and look at Ed Steele and his record at the club, it hasn't been good enough. I think it's 14 games managed thus far. It'll be his 15th and final against Coventry. 3 wins, 3 draws, 7 defeats. I think for any head coach at any club, that record probably becomes untenable. So I have to make that clear first and foremost. I personally like Ed. I like the way he speaks. I could tell from the first moment he stepped through the door that he wanted to do well here. He wanted to turn the sinking ship around. And I think any head coach that accepts this job is probably, in some ways, a bit of a lunatic. I think to accept the Watford role, you have to have something about you. You have to have that real desire within you to be the person who can actually turn it around and get us moving in a positive direction. In the end, when I looked at Ed and his demeanour, especially post-match after Middlesbrough, he did look like a beaten man. He looked like a rabbit in the headlights, and I think that's a real shame. I've got no doubts that in the future, Ed Steele will go on to have a real good managerial career within the professional game, and I really hope he does do that. He strikes me as a lovely, lovely guy, and from people I've spoken to who have interacted with him both at the training ground and outside that sphere as well, he really did want to do well. He signed a 2.5-year contract. He was committed here for the long term. He left his wife and children back home. He wanted to be here and to be the person to turn us around. But as we've discussed so many times in the past few weeks, given the current situation, that just isn't possible. Ed spoke following our defeat to Middlesbrough and said that we really needed a reset from top to bottom. Javi Gracia said the same before he tendered his resignation. And Paolo Pezzolano spoke as well about Watford's need to become a serious club in how we operate moving forward. All of the head coaches are saying the same things, but it's become very apparent that the man at the very top isn't listening to them. I would strongly urge you as fans to keep your energy moving forward. We have the final home game of the season against Coventry City to make your feelings clear and make your feelings known. I've spoken before about the most powerful tool you have being your voice, so make sure to use that if you are in attendance at Vicarage Road. And I've got no doubts in my mind that over the next few weeks and months ahead, as we head into the summer and the transfer window, that there will be a strategy from the club to try and spin this into yet another positive. We've heard that already today with comments issued to certain media outlets. I've got a quote in front of me here. Sky Sports running with the story that they understand Watford are seeking more British championship experience as they head into the window to complement our current group of young players. Now, there's nothing wrong in that statement, but as far as I'm concerned, until I see evidence of that happening, it's empty words. We've been screaming as fans for more experience for such a long time. Tom Cleverley even spoke about the need for it when he was at the club. and he certainly didn't get it in his final transfer window. So as I said, I do think the club, as we come towards the end of this season and approach the summer, will try and spin as much as possible into a positive. And if they do get stuff right, and if they do recruit the right people, I will absolutely praise them for that. I'm not a fan who's going to sit here and constantly slate decisions that were made. Even looking back at previous transfer windows, going back to the summer, I thought the recruitment of Othmane Mama was excellent. I said the same about Nestory Irankunda. I was a big fan of the Max Elaine and Stephen Mafuni loans from Manchester City as well. So more of that moving forward is what I want to see, combined again, as I just mentioned, with that experience, with that championship know-how. That is what we need in the Watford team. But until we see that on paper in front of our eyes, as I said, it's empty words as far as I'm concerned. So look, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below. I'll try and reply to as many of you as possible. I'm one fan here expressing my opinion, but your opinion holds the same value as mine. The only difference is I choose to sit in front of a camera week in, week out. I am looking forward to the Coventry City game. I enjoy football, I enjoy the social aspect of it, and I always want Watford to win. But if you have chosen not to go, or if you've chosen not to renew your season ticket, that's absolutely fine as well. As I've said before, feel free to do what you want as a fan. If you want to go to games and spend your money in the stadium, that's fine. You do you. If you want to applaud the players after a defeat, you can do that. If you've paid your money, absolutely feel free to express your feelings how you wish. For me, I'm going to go next weekend on Saturday, watch the football with my friends who sit around me, and ultimately see what happens on the pitch. What I want to say in conclusion, though, is I do feel Watford have handled this sacking again very badly. I think we have to feel for Ed Still as a human at times, actually. It must be so difficult for him sitting here today on a Sunday, scrolling on his phone, knowing that whatever happens on the final day, he's losing his job. And that's not good. That's not good on a human level. And for this to be leaked in the media before there's an official club statement, that I'm not entirely comfortable with. So, look, I would urge Watford to, get it right moving forward. I want the club communications to improve drastically. That should be first on the agenda. And then looking ahead to the summer, the transfer window, and our head coach recruitment, take your time when looking for the next manager, the next head coach. We have plenty of time this summer. There's an extended break because of the World Cup. The Championship isn't starting until mid-August. Let's not rush into an appointment and then regret it a few months in thinking, we got another one wrong. Let's get it right. And let's hope that next season, 26-27, we'll have something more impressive to shout about. You can follow me across all our social platforms. We're here on YouTube, but we're also on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram as well. I'll be covering all of the latest Watford news in the weeks and months ahead. Don't go anywhere. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.